Hello everyone, I'm Terra Terracotta and today I'm here to bring you a tutorial on a basic tutorial on how I make my Pokemon photos look as nice as they do. I've been asked before to make a tutorial, and now that I have a nice microphone right here and some video editing software to do it, I'm here to show you. So I'm right here on the Photoshoot blog, and well, the first thing you have to know is the best way to get your photos off of your 3DS or 2DS and onto the computer is if you're using a normal 3DS, not the new ones, there's an SD card in the side somewhere on it that you can take out, and most laptops and computers have a slot for the SD card that you can put in. If you're using the new 3DS's or the new 2DS's, then it has a micro SD card, which I have a new 2DS XL, and the micro SD card is like right next to the slot where you put the games. You take that out, and if you buy an expanded SD card like 32 gigs, it usually comes with an SD card adapter that you slide into the computer, and it uploads like that. So I have a folder open, and inside that folder will be all the photos that you take in Pokemon Photo Club. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to, this is the original site that I've used before, Waifu2X, to upload things, but I've stopped using that because, one, it constantly needs to CAPTCHA what you do, and that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. I was switching to a computer program to use, but that was taking up too much of my memory. So then I actually found a different version that I've been using called waifu2x.me or waifu2x multi. Because for one thing, it has more options. You even get more options for magnification, compression level. And the point of doing this is essentially getting your pictures a little bigger, removing a lot of the JPEG compression that you see on all those little dead pixels and stuff, and putting it in a nice higher quality to work with it in Photoshop, which is what I use. It's Photoshop CX6. Another thing I like about this is the fact that it allows you to upload up to 5 photos at once. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the SD card, go to DCIM. Sorry, those were my older photos. I took some nice new photos of Pokemon for this. Going to view large icons so I know which Pokemon I'm working on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, I had a request for Drapion, so I'm going to take 5 of Drapion's photos, open them, and then in a few minutes it'll upload, and then we will wait for that. Okay, and we're back. Everything has been uploaded, and I have Photoshop CS6 open. It was gifted to me by a friend, and it's what I use to edit all of my photos. Now, what you're seeing right now is actually the original photo that comes from the game. The reason that I'm showing this to you is because when I run it through waifu2.me, it looks like this. It's resized up to 3, like times 3, so it's obviously very, very much bigger than what you get off of the original waifu2.jp site. And it's like you see all these pixels, all those are gone, and I'm gonna close it out. It's just to give you an idea of how much significantly better it looks once it's run through waifu at least once. Now, of course, as you notice, it's looking a bit lumpy on the sides here, so what we want to do is we want to go up to Filter, Noise, and Reduce Noise. You want to have your settings up to this. Sometimes you can get it a lot smoother if you have your preserve details down to 0, but if you have something like a character's irises or small white specks that can get a little muddled, so maybe you want 1 or 2 on, that's the best way to take care of that. Otherwise, you have to try and manually fix it, which sometimes you have to if you want to make the picture look nice. And at this size, magnification times 3, you're going to hit OK, and you can actually hit Control F to apply it again, and that makes it look much, much smoother, as you can see. Now, the first thing that I do with a picture like this is that I go up here to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance. This is something that I do to the images first thing. A lot of people have criticized me before, saying that all I do is just add a bunch of filters to the photos to make them look pretty. And while I do use filters, a lot of the color that goes into my things is me adjusting the color balance right here. And as you can see, it takes care of the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. And what I do is I kind of eyeball how changing the certain tones affects the picture. And I usually try to use this to adjust the quality of the picture. Because one thing you may notice about some of the in-game photos in Pokemon is that the colors that come out aren't always the best.
So as you can see, I like to adjust and make new colors so that way it's more appealing to look at, much nicer, exactly what you would think the picture would look like.
Mm-hmm. If you can hit preview here to see how it compares to the previous one, and as you can see, the colors get more vibrant, they stand out more. It's a lot of a warmer hue that I think you would probably get from the desert, while this one's a little more saturated. And I like when you're satisfied with your adjustments, you just hit OK, and it's like that. Now the next thing I do is I duplicate this layer, and then I put on a soft light layer. This is when I start adding my layers and my filters and stuff like that. I like soft light because then I go up to Gaussian blur and I can make it look all pretty and filtery. I don't know if filtery is the right word, but I hope you get what I mean. I reduce it a little bit because sometimes you can get away with it being 100% because it looks gorgeous, but sometimes it's good to tone it down, and this will help with additional smoothing and giving it that kind of soft, dreamy-like feel. We duplicate the layer again, filter blur, and then I go to lens blur, and it creates kind of this photo lens blur. These are I think I'm pretty sure I just use the default filters. Like you can use this to shorten the range of how much blur you get on the photo, and sometimes it helps to just have it a little lower. You hit OK, you go down to opacity, and you lower it just a bit. The point is to kind of give it like the illusion that it's like your eyes adjusting to the picture or something like that. Something I like to do to help raise the quality of the photo. Then we merge that. Next thing I like to do is go off the filter gallery. You want to be on texture and grain and have your intensity at 5 and your contrast to 46. And it kind of creates this texture to the photo that I think helps make it look more like an authentic photo. Not photorealistic, but authentic. Then I go to image size, and since I have it magnified by 3, I shorten the size by 12. And that's about the size that it would be if it were doubled, but I like to work bigger and go smaller because I think it makes a nicer picture once you reduce it. That's something I learned in college, but I think that's like a thing that most people who use Photoshop or photo editing programs use, like Sai and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically how I, at the minimum, will adjust photos. I can add more effects and more stuff like that, but I want to do just a basic video of how I do, at the bare minimum, editing my photos for the photo blog. And I hope you found this useful. If you want me to do more tutorials on some of the more advanced effects that I do, just leave a comment or let me know on the blog, and I hope you all have a nice day.